Hello, this is Mrs. Chung. So we are able to create a C major scale on Noteflight score. Let's make a C major scale again as a review. We click on the measure and you see the notes appear. When I hover over the staff line, you see the notes going up as my mouse goes up and down as my mouse goes down. So I'm going to start to create a C major scale, and I'm going to start on middle C. Notice that middle C has its own line. Next, I'm going to key in using my keyboard letter D for note D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now I'd like to introduce you another way of putting in the notes on Noteflight score. When you look upper corner, right hand side upper corner, you'll see the keyboard. Can you click on keyboard? Then the keyboard appears. Now I'm going to put in the C major scale using my keyboard. C, oh, that is too high up. I'm going to start from middle C, so I'm going to, using my arrow key on keyboard, I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so I have middle C here, and by clicking on the keys on the keyboard, I'm going to put in the C major scale. I already have C here. C, D, oops, C, no. Let's go back. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So just another way of notating using your keyboard. Now, when you are asked what key is your music in, then you can say that it is in C major. C major means the root of note is C. All the notes will evolve around the root note C. Now let's take a closer look into this C major scale and talk about theory aspects of it, of how the C major scale is constructed. I'm going to highlight this C major scale by coloring it pink. We're going to take a look at the relationship between the notes. Notice as we go up the scale, the notes have the spacing of whole, half, whole, half. I'll show you. Follow me. Whole, half, whole, half. Now that is the formula of major scale. You might be lost. You might be asking, what do you mean by whole step and half? What do you mean by whole and half? Now, from C to D, there is a black key which I stepped over. I just skipped it. So this is called the whole step. Now from D to E, there's another black key which I'm skipping over. So that's whole step. Now between E and F, there is no black key which I'm stepping over. So that's called half step. From F to G, there is black key which I stepped over. That's whole note, whole step. From G to A, another black key which I stepped over. That's whole tone. From A to B, another step over of black key. That's whole step. B to C, there's no black key, so that's half step. So the idea is between these two, This is whole step. Between these two, that's whole step. Oops, let's move it. Whole step. And between E and F, no black key in between, so that is half step. F to G, I stepped over the G, the black key, so that is whole step. From G to A, there was the black key in between, that is the whole step. And from A to B, another black key, so that is whole step. Now B to C, there was no black key in between, so that is half step. So do you see, this is the formula for C major scale or any major scale. The formula is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. I advise you to memorize this. The formula in any major scale is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. This is the formula of major scale. It's quite important that you memorize this formula of major scale, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, because now we're going to move on to a different key, to different major scale. Now we're going to create a D major scale this time. Now in order to do this correctly, we have to be mindful of the formula. We cannot just put the musical letter names as we did with the C major. For example, let's delete these practice measures and I'm going to create D major scale just as we made the C major scale, and it'll be wrong because now we have to use different method. So the root note of D major scale is D, whereas root note of the C major scale was C. So right now I'm going to create the D major scale, and using our old good method of just putting in the letter names, it's not that won't work, but let's try anyways. So D, what comes after D? E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Oops, I pressed S, that's why I have the slur. I'm going to delete the slur. Now it looks all right? But when you hear it, you will notice that it's something different. Let's listen to C major scale to compare the D major scale. Again, now D major. Do you notice something's different, something's off about this scale? Now compare again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's a little bit different. Something's a little off about this major, supposedly D major scale. So we're going to go and fix it using our formula. The formula of whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, as we had in the C major scale. Because the starting note is different, the root note is different. Here the root note was C, here we have the root note D. Now we have to make changes to this scale that you see here to make it into whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. When you take a look at the keyboard here, you will see that when I go from D to E, this is whole step, so that's good. Now when you take a look at the keyboard, E to F, it's not a whole step, it's a half step. So is this aligned with the major formula? No, it is not. We have to make it the whole tone, whole step. So how do we do that? E to F, there is no key in between. So we're going to make it a whole step by leaving this key and moving on to stepping over this key and moving on to the next one, next key available. So that would be F sharp. Now let's see if we have a half step or a whole step. I'm going to erase here. D to, oops, what did I do? Okay, D to E, whole step. E to F, whole step. Oh, let's fix that. Oops. Now F to G, half step. So that's good. I'm going to write down that this is whole step. Now this is half step, which is good. G to A, whole step. Good, we have whole step here. A to B, whole step. Good. B to C, oh, there's no whole step. It's just a half step. So I'm going to again make it a whole step by moving this C by raising it up, a semitone. So now we have B to C, whole step, and C sharp to D, half step. So let's check with our C major scale if we have the formula. The whole, half, whole, half. Now you see whole, half, whole, half. So this D major should sound okay this time. Okay, so let's create a D major scale. I want you to create a new score. So how do you create your new score? Go to create. How do we go to create? Let's see. Click on this. Oops, you will have different sign, but click on the logo here. Now click on create. Changes you made, maybe not. Oops, I did not save my work, so I'm going to save my work. And then I'm going to go back to the logo, click on it, then a new panel opens up. I'm going to click on create. I'm going to pick treble clef. Now it's your turn to make your own D major scale. I want you to title your score D major scale. D major scale. And I want you to write your name. For the composer, you write your name, Sunny J.Y. Chung. Okay, let's go over how to make D major scale again. The formula is whole, half, whole, half. D. Why don't I bring out the keyboard so that you can visualize it? D, E, whole step, E to D, D, E, that was whole step, F, that's whole step, G, A, Okay, I want you to make D major scale as your homework. After you're done, please save your work and please share it with your class. Oh, let's move my page. Okay, so go to the school details, click on it, then the panel opens up. You go to share, click on the red button that says share score, and click on groups and click on groups and type in BIS space, then your grade will show up here. Click your grade and press next to share your score with your group. Right now I'm on different page, so I don't have your classes here, but you will get your class group once you put in BIS space and press the red button that says next, and your work will be shared with your group.